say if we'll only avoid any confrontation with the enemy, he'll forget his evil ways and learn to love us.
I am confused. Being philosophically consistent and being a very honest person, I'm sure you can tell me where God came from.
That you're thinking of the wrong, obviously it displays that you're thinking of the wrong God. Because the God of the Bible is not affected by time, space, or matter. If he's affected by time, space, or matter, he's not God.
This is the Philosophically Poetic Show. Right here on FM.
What is up? What is happening? You are tuned into another week of Philosophically Poetic right here on XFM. This is your girl, Noelzi, and yet for another week of giving you the most. Listen, we are speaking about marriage, and I've got a little bit of a surprise for you on the show today, so you need to stay tuned for that. But before we get into the show, you know that we're always going to Fact of the Week because I'm feeling so good today and I'm in such a good mood. I'm going to give you two facts because I found them both interesting, and I was like, should I do one next week? Should I do it this week? And I was just like, nah, we can break a little bit of the rules just for today. So, did you know you can hear a blue whale's heartbeat from 2 miles away? The blue whale is the largest mammal on the planet, weighing up to 150 tons, measuring up to 90 feet long, and you can hear this thing's heartbeat from 2 miles away. And its heart beats at 8 to 10 times per minute. So it's not a lot of heartbeats, but like you can hear it from a mile away. It just got me thinking, was Jonah in this whale? Because he needed to be in a very large fish. And if this is the largest fish, how much more was he experiencing this heartbeat action happening from the inside of the whale? If you don't know about Jonah, go read about him, darling. It's a juicy, juicy story. Fact number 2, only for this week. Don't come back next week going, Noelzi, where's the second fact? It's only going to be one. But second fact of this week is nearly 30,000 rubber ducks were lost at sea in 1992 and are still being discovered today. In my mind, I pictured The Great Escape. So these ducks are talking to each other like, yo, we're tired of bathtubs, bro. And I know we've been created for these things, but like, we're tired of them. They small. People squeeze us. They fill us with water. I hate this. How are we going to get out of here? And then they did the great prison break. 30,000 of them managed to escape. They made it into the wild. And they're still being discovered until today. Over 25 years ago, 25, just by the way, these things were on the run. They're still on the run. A cargo ship traveling from Hong Kong to the United States accidentally lost a shipment crate, and this crate contained these rubber ducks. So the Great Escape happened with what? Rubber ducks? Yeah. But we're going to get into this song for today because you know that radio has never been better. Is nothing without Christ music is hot music. So let's get into this one. It's called This Is Living, and it's the Obed Rod remix. Let's go.
Waking up knowing there's a reason. All my dreams come alive. Life is for living with you. I've made my decision. You lift me up, fill my eyes with wonder. Forever young in your love, this freedom's untainted with you.
Hey, what's going on? This is Adam Gilly, and you are listening to Active FM. Christ music is hot music.
So we are talking marriage and marriage contracts, and I did promise you a bit of a surprise, but you're going to have to hold on to your chairs for that one. Coming up just a little bit later in the show, you do not want to miss. It's going to be a spicy talk. It's going to have you thinking twice, hopefully 3 times. But right now we are going to go into just a little bit about what the Bible says about marriage, because we all have these preconceived notions and we all have these, listen, this is what I want to do and this is how I'm going to do it and all of that different stuff. But what does God say about it, and what does the Bible then say about it? And this is what Genesis 1 verse 27 to 28 says, the beginning, right? What better place to look? It says, so God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him. God doesn't say things twice for no reason. Just make sure. Male and female, he created them, and God blessed them. And God said to them, be fruitful, multiply, fill the earth, subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the heavens, and over every living thing that moves. We see what? Male and female, he created them. Why? Because they would be able together to reproduce. That's why the world is pushing everything opposite. Why? Because then there's no reproduction. Then there's the end of humanity if people are not reproducing. But I was watching a little video. It's called the Bible Project. Go check it out on YouTube, on Revelation, and I was inspired to watch it by I don't know what, but I was watching it last night. And it was speaking about the book of Revelation, and it spoke about the fact that when the new Jerusalem is created, when we enter this new paradise where everything is restored back to what the Garden of Eden was supposed to be, and now the presence of God is fully in that place and everything, it said then we will once again have this promise. And what is the promise? We are going to reign. We're going to have dominion. We're going to subdue. We're going to reign over the birds of the sea. Over. It's going to go back to the beginning. It's going to be perfect. There will be no more mourning, no more tears, no more everything. And I know it's like Adam and Eve, but like, what's your problem, bro? But if you live your life right, and if you get to the end, you're going to end up in a place where we are back in the Garden of Eden, but then Garden of Eden 2.0, this one's going to be a lot, and we're going to be able to live again like how we were supposed to live from the beginning, which for me just brought out such a beautiful picture of the complete restoration of God. It's a cycle, but when it comes back even better than it was in the beginning, which is just so beautiful. But that joining together, that oneness, that becoming one is something that the Bible speaks about very often. It doesn't speak about anything other than the male and the female joining together to be one. But now what happens is that we find things like marriage contracts and all of these other things that are popping up every single place, trying to destroy the union that God worked so hard to build, I could say. Malachi 2 verse 14 to 15 reads as follows. But you say, why does he not? Because the Lord was witness between you and your wife of your youth, to whom you have been faithless, though she is your companion and your wife by covenant. And when we enter a covenant with each other, it means that the two become completely one. I mean, we look at the same covenant we're going to enter with God when we reign and rule with Jesus. It's not like he's like, that is yours and that's not yours, and listen, don't touch that, that just belongs to me. It's a full covenant, meaning what? We join together, meaning what? We own everything together. We have rulership over together. Do we deserve it? No. But when the two become one, it is very easy to see how the Bible in many times has said the two will join to become one. You guys will perfectly be together. But if you separate everything and if you put everything in separate baskets and this is mine and this is yours, then you find trouble. And in Ecclesiastes 4 verse 9, it says, 2 are better than 1 because they have a good return for their labor. Either of them falls down, one can help the other up. But pity anyone who falls and has no one to help them. Also, if 2 lie down together, they'll keep warm. But how can one keep warm alone? And we look at this. If one person falls down, you guys fall down together. We look at the thing of debt. And many times people are inspired to enter into marriage contracts. Why? Because I don't want your debt. You incurred it by yourself. But if the one falls down, the 2 fall down together. That is what God brought together as a union, where it's not you have debt, what is your problem, why did you go and fetch it, you're so irritating and all of that. No, it's the 2 have become one. The 2 have become one. And if one part falls, the other part falls. If one part is hurt, the other part is hurt as well. So I wear this band often, and I don't have it on me right now, but I usually have this band wherever I go, whether I'm at an expensive function or whether I'm just at a normal place. And it's basically Corinthians 12:26, and it says, when one part of the body suffers, the whole body suffers. And when we see the 2 becoming one, you become one body, you become one flesh. That's why it says that a man will leave his mother and father to join with his wife. Why? Because you guys become one. It's not half and half making one whole. It's 2 people making one whole. And when one part suffers, the other part suffers. What's the problem is when one person's not happy, then it's easy to go, you know what? I think I should exit this marriage now. I'm going to exit left because what if this person is not my person? What if I missed the boat with my soulmate? What if? And the problem with that is the choice was already made. And sometimes God has the person first and then we make a choice and then that's your person now. You can't now say, what if there's my soulmate there and now I want to. But that's the problem. Marriage is so easy to get out of these days. It is so simple for people just to go, you know what? It's not working anymore. I thought, but it's not what it was. It's not what it used to be. That is what is happening with marriage more and more often. And the problem is we live in a world of what ifs, and because of that, we have marriage contracts and we have all of these breakdowns in the marriage and in the family that community ends up falling apart. And before we get into my little special surprise for the day, we are going to get into this song. I absolutely love it. You've heard it here before. You're going to hear it again. This one is Bizzle featuring Chini and it's called Dawn. Let's go.
Never blame when I say this, oh yeah. Looking at the day with a praise, I'm amazed that we got here. A whole lot of shame in the game, to the fame that we not here. A whole lot of pain in the game, to the rain that we out here. They said that we never would see the day though. I see the sun rays of the day through the shade when I pray though. Life, what I went through, that graveyard life could have been you. It's not that I can't see, I just seen what the king do. Somebody take a bunch of rose petals and throw them over a stone tomb. Let a song play for the day, make way to the throne room. Chariot those skies, peace to the war cries, sight through the Lord's eyes. Hail to the sunrise. Sunrise, sunrise, sunrise. Sunrise, sunrise, sunrise. Sunrise, sunrise, sunrise. Sunrise, sunrise. moment is different, I hope the people are listening. The king on the cloud with a trump loud and a big crown on glistening. A penny for your thoughts worth saving for anywhere that you wishing it. Cause when you a king's kid, the world what you fishing in. Let him hit a trump with the harp and the sound of the timbre. I need to hear the lyre and the pipe with the clash of the cymbal. Chariot those skies, peace in the war cries, sight through the Lord's eyes, hail to the sunrise. Sunrise, sunrise, then shall appear sign of the Son of Man in heaven. Then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn. They shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven. Sunrise, 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 sunrise. Say loud, I click clap the name worldwide with the Christ web, my domain. Say loud, forever spitting classics, acid. Say loud, corner. Say loud, corner.
So we are back on Philosophically Poetic, and I promised you guys something very special. And today we have Mr. Love Show DJ himself, Mlindeni, and he's going to be weighing in on marriage contracts. Mlindeni, do you want to tell the people just a little bit about yourself and why I would ask you this question of every other person on the face of the planet?
Yeah, I guess it's because, like, look, you trust my opinion, as some people might call me the Love Doctor, from the Love Show, because I give realistic advice and from personal experiences as well. So it's kind of like, you trust my opinion and it weighs much more value in a way, but I'm saying that in a humble manner,
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what it's all about.
All right. So now, speaking marriage contracts, and the first question, I want to throw you straight into the deep end because, we're not going to give you a chance. I want to find out, when you get married, which contract looks the most attractive to you? Which one would you choose?
Man, it's a difficult thing because I look at the one where, like, we in commune of property, so what's mine is yours, what's yours is mine, like everything is shared across between both of us. At the same time, it's like, if the person has debt, then I'm also in trouble now. And what happens if, like, let's just say I choose a different option where it's like, what's yours is yours, what's mine is mine. What happens when I have kids now? Like, the kids are obviously going to struggle. Like, if I pass on, who gets what? But I guess the fair one is if we just share everything, we just equal. What's yours is mine, what's mine is yours. I mean, it's like, the Bible also says so that, like, you joined with your wife, so she becomes part of you and you are part of her. So it doesn't hurt to share our earthly belongings as well.
Okay, but let's say this lady has been doing the most, isn't it? Because she decided that she was going to go to a weird place, and we're going to say McDonald's because that's the weirdest place to get debt. And she incurred 100,000 rand worth of debt because this lady just likes McDonald's, and McDonald's was feeling nice to her only because they don't give the rest of us debt, and they gave her this debt, and now she's quiet about it. And then you married, and a year down the line, McDonald's is going, mister, you owe us 100,000. What then? Like, what do you do now?
My God, that just kills the trust, like, in the relationship.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, I mean, if you obviously, like, you're seeing a person, you're in courtship, and you're getting to know each other.
Yeah.
I feel like, okay, you might not need to disclose everything about your life and all that, but if you're going to commit to a serious thing like marriage, you need to let the person know that, hey, look, I'm in debt. Look, I've got problems. I've got this problem here.
Yeah.
Or maybe like people with addictions, they need to let you know that, hey, look, I've got this problem. Are you going to be able to maintain that, or are you okay with it? Or at least you just say, okay, look, let's work on this before we get married.
Yeah.
Maybe I could have advised her, and said, okay, look, pay 50% off maybe we can get married now, because maybe she's marrying me for my money. Now I'm the one who's gonna pay.
Yeah.
So if she tells me after that like, okay, look, I've got a problem here, I'm in debt, and these people are calling me, I don't know. Like, I think I would be like super, super angry at the person and just be like, look, you should have told me this. This one's on you. I'm going to help you where I can. But look, most of the money is going to go towards like the kids. Even if I don't have kids yet, I'm going to be saving towards when I have kids. So she's going to make up for it with her salary.
Okay, so what if now this lady's like, bro, but I want to stay in the house. I don't want to work anymore. And obviously you married me. So now the debt is ours. Okay, so marriage contracts say this. During your marriage, you do have the option to change the contract while you're married. So you guys can decide to go back and go, you know what? Hey, I made a mistake. Stay is crazy. Can we please re-sign a different contract? Yeah. Would you then go into a different contract? Or do you just go, listen, you can't housewife here. You need to work for this. What do you do then? Are you going to go and change your contract?
No. Changing the contract, I feel like that's also it. For me, it feels like kind of a bit of a, how can you say, it's like a premature divorce, because now it's like I'm cutting you off from certain things in my life, and I'm just saying, look, I don't want to be part of this part of your life, so you deal with it on your own, and the relationship is just gonna break off. Like, trust me, like, we're just not gonna feel each other. We're just gonna break up. So I would probably tell her, look, you cannot be a housewife. You need to get a job. The things are straining me. I mean, look at how we're living in South Africa. It doesn't, unless you're working one of those big time jobs and you're the CEO of this big company, you cannot maintain a house on your own. You need to have someone working with you. I mean, some people work with their siblings to get a house or something. So if I'm alone now, I'll be like, no, look, we're working with this together. And I would remind her that, look, when we started dating and we got together, obviously we discussed this thing that, like, look, are you going to be a housewife? Are you going to get married? I mean, when we get married, are you going to continue working or what? So, you know, remind them of their promises that, hey, look, we need to maintain that. I promised to be with you through thick and thin. Here I am sticking with you, so I'm not going to break that promise. Yeah, I'll just tell her, look, just get a job, do something.
Pay off McDonald's. They want their money.
Just pay them off. Yeah. I didn't eat that Big Mac or whatever meal you ate, so you need to pay it off.
Yeah, okay. Now there's a different scenario I want you to weigh in on. So the man is working, the woman is working, they get married. Now, before they get married, the man goes, you know what, let's sign out of community of property without the accrual system, meaning that during the marriage, what's mine is mine, what's yours is yours. I don't want us to confuse our things. And then what happens is that they sign this contract, they get married, he goes, babe, I want you to become a housewife. I'm making enough. You need to take care of the house. So now this woman stops working. She doesn't have income. What's his is his, what's hers is hers. But now he begins to see Susie down the road because she's younger and she's more vibrant and stuff. And he decides, you know what, deuces, I don't want this marriage thing anymore. I'm leaving. Now she's left with nothing, but she was a housewife the whole time and he was saying he would provide. What do you think about that sort of situation?
I feel like that is betrayal, man. That is horrible. Like, I don't think you're ever gonna see heaven if you do that. Like, honestly,
yeah.
it is just bad because you took a person out of their job. They were enjoying life. They probably loved their career at that point, and then you said, "I will take care of you." Remember that also God loves keeping promises. I mean, if He says, "I'll never leave you nor forsake you," He means that. So obviously, He expects the same from us. And you being the head of the house saying, I'm going to do this for you, then you don't do it. Man, the consequences are going to be bad. Like, you like, I don't know. Like, I feel like I would advise the person that, like, look, it is bad. You don't own anything because obviously your assets are now gone because you're not working and all that. Unless he bought her the car, then she could have a car, maybe sell it, move into a small apartment or go back home. There's no shame in going back home, explain the situation. And I'm sure there must be some legalities that the lawyers can pull up with that can just say, hey, look, man, you need to compensate your wife a bit. Maybe there's kids as well, so he needs to, pay child support. But yeah, look, honestly, I'll say go back home, sell whatever you have. Maybe if it's a car, move into a smaller apartment and just start again. Like, there's no need for you to chase and beg that guy. Just leave him.
But it's not fair because, like, now she's starting from scratch and she was in a better place before this man and now he's gone.
I know, right? Now you need to pick up your career again. You're probably not going to get the same salary you were getting. You're probably not going to be employed again in the same place. But I mean, there's nothing else you can do. Like, honestly, the worst thing that a person can ever do is chase after a person that broke up with them, or someone that's just like cheating on them, because now they're going to use you. They're going to treat you bad. They're never going to see your value. And you're also going to depress yourself, you know. So it's like, just leave them. Just stay away from the person. Start a new life. God will sort them out. That's all I can say. It might not happen now, but at some point, God is going to deal with the situation.
Alrighty, and then I just want to ask you this final question. So let's say now you become serious about this person that you're with, you, personally you. And then this person goes, you know what? Sorry, babe, I know you want this whole in-community of property thing. But I don't want that because I want to keep my things for myself. And you want to join everything, and I don't feel like that's the best thing to do. Do you continue marrying the person?
Yeah, that is kind of difficult because, I mean, it's like our values are kind of different on that. That is like, it's like a game changer basically in the relationship, because obviously it's going to make me doubt. Let me be honest, like a person that I am, I overthink a lot. So I'm probably going to assume the worst of the person, that, look, okay, fine, we're going to get married. Maybe she's just being with me so that she can kind of like save up money and settle down a bit. And then when she has a big breakthrough, then she lets go of me, because I've been obviously funding her, because as a guy, you do spoil your woman. You do give her money. Whether or not you're like married in community of property, but you're going to give her something, of course. I'm going to buy her a car, of course. Maybe she takes that car and goes to her boyfriends or whatever she's doing out there. I'll probably think of that. But at the same time, I would make peace with the fact that, look, I am into this person. I love this person. And me thinking the worst right now is not going to help. What if I marry someone who wants the exact thing I want, but then we don't last that long? So I'll take the risk, honestly. Like, I would take the risk, but at the same time, I would consult one of my pastors and ask him, what do you advise on this?
What's up?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And then at what stage of the relationship do you have this conversation? Do you have this conversation the day you get married, you walking down the aisle and just there in front of the pastor, it's like, by the way, can you sign here quickly? What stage do you have this conversation?
I think, like, look, this conversation, you can have it at any time in the relationship when you feel that you guys are now serious. Like, you know, it's not that whole 1 month thing where you guys have been dating. You know, the honeymoon phase where we're so excited to seeing each other. It's just, we've just been going on dates now. Like, I mean, it's the time when we're like serious, where we're like, hey, look, man, I feel like I've known you so much and I'm getting used to you and I'm bonding with you. Like, you know, there's a thing with feelings. So then that's when you can talk to the person. It might not even be 6 months. Some people actually bond after 2 weeks and they get to know each other fully. Some of us, we take longer than that, unfortunately, but it's when you guys are comfortable and you know how they think and how they react. Then you just, but obviously I think you don't just throw it as an obvious scenario that, look, I'm going to get married to you. I want to do this and do that. What do you say? No, you just throw it as in like a hint. Like, you know, I've seen people get married. They say, what do you think? I've read a book or I've seen in the movies, I think this is bad. What do you think? Then you get to know the idea behind the other person, that, oh, actually, this is what they like. And then, then after that, you know, shoot your shot.
All right. That is awesome love advice from the Love DJ himself, Mr. Love, Dr. Love, as you self-proclaimed in the beginning of the show. Thank you so much for being on the show and sharing your perspective on our love contracts.
Hey, thanks for having me. Look, anytime. This is a great crossover, you know. We should be doing this more often, you know. Maybe you're also going to come onto the love show, you know, one day.
Definitely.
Keep you there.
All right, so that has been that for this segment. Let's get into another song.
Since the world was changing right before my eyes, clinging on to hope that things will work out fine. So I'm picking up when I'm leaving, silent into the feelings, taking hold of my dreams, and life's too short to let the past decide. When I'm lost and alone with no strength to fight, and the darkness fills
has been super spicy, super interesting. It was very fun to hear a different opinion. Well, not really different, but it was really fun to hear someone else's perspective on things. Because sometimes I feel like I'm in my own mind about things. But when you hear it from someone else, or when you hear someone else's take on it, then it becomes interesting. And then you start seeing different perspectives and the way the world looks at things and the way things really are. And for me, I think that this is something that we really need to grab a hold of in terms of realizing what relationship is supposed to be and realizing where God wants us to go as a society, because we find ourselves many times in a place of despair, but that is because we divert from the Genesis. We divert from what was created in the beginning. And when we get back to that, the more and more we draw closer to that, is the more and more we'll start seeing communities coming together again. And for me, personally, if there's a marriage contract in place that says let's keep everything separate, that means there's a possibility I'm going to leave you. I'm not sure if you're the one, and I just want to make sure, just in case. The moment there's that just in case, there's a loophole, and that loophole usually ends up in divorce. And that's why opening these doors by signing such contracts, and you pay money to sign the contract. I mean, why are you paying money to protect yourself from yourself? Because that person becomes a part of you. It just doesn't make sense. But this is something that I felt was really, really important for us to get into. We're going to go into just a little bit more next week, and then we're going to start something new. You do not want to miss that. But for another week, let's catch up again next week. I mean, why not? For this week, this has been Noelzi Lee signing out. I love you, love you, love you. Peace out, and God bless you. Bye.
Active FM. Radio has never been better.
Look what the Lord has done. He has shown himself strong, redeeming all of our brokenness and making all things new. You are faithful and true. You're leading us into hope. We can rest in all of your promises. We believe in you. I will lift up my eyes to the sky, where my help comes from. I will lift up my eyes to the sky, where my help comes from. 'Cause you're always faithful. You're always faithful. I will rejoice and be glad. Your love's my strength and my song. You lifted me up when I was down, made me your very own. I will rejoice and be glad. Your love is my strength and my song. Oh, you lifted me up when I was down, made me your very own. I will lift up my eyes to the sky, where my help comes from. I will lift up my eyes to the sky,
shouting victory.